What's up, folks? It's Dan here. We're back again with another edition of Fight Night, and today we're going to be covering the Superman versus Darkseid fight from Justice League, one of my favorite animated Western cartoon fight moments of all time. It's not super long, and it's not super grounded in reality, but that's okay. For some reason, I feel as though we didn't do a Fight Night video last week. I don't think we did. And the week before that, we got copyright nailed like the second I uploaded. It was from Ongbok. So hopefully that's not what happens here. If that ever does happen, by the way, I do upload them right away over onto the Facebook page. So Facebook is generally less stringent with their copyright guidelines. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. But so we're gonna jump in here, and this is actually kind of a Lex Luthor and Batman and Superman versus Darkseid video. So let's switch over to the screen, and we will take a look-see. Here we go.
Problem? I'm out. Take my extra. Not my style. Suit yourself. I'm planning to live through this.
Very different from the Batman and Justice League the movie. Wrecked. Bam! I love this. Batman's like, screw you. I'm a pole vault on your back. Parademon. Conveniently placed.
Impressive. No one has ever avoided my Omega beam.
Impressive,
I wonder
Skywalker.
if the other one is as agile.
Luthor's like, peace out. I'm not Batman. See you later.
Excellent strategy.
Luthor!
Come on, Soups.
Your friends have abandoned you, or fallen before my might.
Oh. We're gonna have Bane copyright infringement in 3 seconds here.
Merely a man.
3, 2, 1. Oh wait, no. Commercial break first. Now we're back. Bane copyright infringement. Darkseid, how dare you? Oh no!
You, Metron, you knew this was going to happen.
This outcome was the most likely.
For the record, I think Lex Luthor in the Justice League animated series is one of the best portrayals of Lex Luthor
You
ever.
are in no position to make demands of anyone. I warned you that you were dabbling in forces beyond your comprehension.
You'd be surprised what I can comprehend. For instance, if you know so much about Darkseid,
Like Justice League Unlimited nailed a couple of characters. I think Batman is one of them.
One thing in all the universe.
Well, Justice League, not just Unlimited, but Justice League in general. Nailed Batman.
I know a little something about risk myself.
Also nailed Lex Luthor.
Here for an object lesson.
Very well. I will take you where you want to go.
I love that Luthor's like threatening Metron with a gun. Like, really? Superman, actually, I don't think they really got very well in Justice League.
You still try to fight.
Batman, you're such a badass!
Can't you see that it's hopeless?
That man won't quit as long as he can still draw a breath. None of my teammates will. Me? I've got a different problem. I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard, always taking constant care not to break something, to break someone. Never allowing myself to lose control, even for a moment, or someone could die.
Nope.
But you can take it, can't you, big man? What we have here is a rare opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am.
I love this, the full inversion punch. Reaching Man of Steel level devastation. And then dude just gets up again.
Had enough.
Not quite yet.
And cheap shot!
It's called the agony matrix.
That's gonna
Direct
sting.
Neural stimulation of pain receptors. All of them. Imagine the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. Times 1,000. Now imagine that pain continuing forever.
It's an interesting weapon to use against Superman because
Oh, that's right.
it'd be really, really effective. Alright, so let's go back and talk about some of the things in that fight that we can talk about. Specifically, what a badass Batman is. So this is actually right here. Batman jumps on Darkseid's back and goes for a rear naked choke. Now this is actually a really interesting strategy on Batman's part because Batman knows he's not going to be able to beat Darkseid in a fist fight, but at least intellectually speaking, this should theoretically work if it weren't Darkseid. Because if you properly apply a rear naked choke to somebody, or any blood choke for that matter, not a wind choke, but a blood choke, and if you actually apply one properly and cut off the blood flow to their brain, they will go unconscious very, very, very quickly, and it does not matter how strong they are. Assuming you get your, you get your hooks in deep, you get your hand in there deep, and you get it in the right spot, and you close off those arteries, you go into sleep real fast, like 5 seconds if properly applied. So, I mean, it's not a bad strategy. This is actually used to be how they would deal with people that were on PCP when PCP was like a big deal, like back in I think it was the 80s. Rear naked choke was one of the ways that you could deal with the person who's on PCP, because if you're on PCP, you don't really feel pain the normal way. So unless a gun physically disabled you to the point where you couldn't move, you could theoretically keep coming at somebody. But if you choke the blood off to the brain shuts down and you go to sleep no matter what kind of drugs you're on or how strong you are. So if you should ever find yourself in a fight against a larger, stronger opponent, knowing how to choke them is not a bad idea, because it's going to be more effective than most of the other things that you can try. Let's see, what else can we talk about here? Darkseid just being straight up brutal.
Strategy.
So what can Superman do here? He's on the ground. Dumb move right here, yelling for Luthor when you got an opponent positioning around you. Because that's what's going to happen to you right there. That big old boot right there is going to come and find you. Better thing to do, as Darkseid stepped back here, and again, this is something to, right there, when he's picking that foot up, if you're fighting a larger and stronger opponent and you find yourself in this position, one of the best things that Superman could have done at this point in time is reached out and grabbed onto this foot and pulled it. Because Darkseid's a big heavy dude and Superman's not quite as strong as him, but he is pretty darn strong, so if you got a hold of this and pulled it, Darkseid's on one leg, he's a big heavy dude, he's going down pretty hard, and it would at least buy Superman a few seconds to breathe and or, formulate a strategy rather than calling out after Luthor, who is a bad guy. You know that, right? Like, just because he's on your side doesn't mean he's not a bad guy. So you're going to get kicked. Blah!
Your friends have abandoned you or fallen before my might.
And he's here stunned. He's getting wrecked, getting wrecked, getting wrecked, getting wrecked. Blammo. I don't think there's anything constructive to learn from here, except don't fight Darkseid.
You're merely
Let's move forward to here. We can't really deconstruct flying sequences, but
That man won't quit as long as he can still...
now right here, Superman, theoretically, could go for the blood choke. Unfortunately, he's not as smart as Batman, because theoretically he is strong enough to do that to Darkseid. I don't know if if Darkseid has blood in his veins, or if he, if you can make that blood stop going to his brain. But if you could, not a bad idea. Superman, fight smarter, not harder, buddy. You got your hands in right here. Utilize that.
None of my teammates will. Me? I've got a different...
I love this. The whole I've got a different problem talking about the world made of paper. That I feel like. So my main objection to the Justice League series is the significant depowering of Superman. For the purpose of the show, obviously.
Never allowing myself to lose control, even for a moment, or someone...
Let's see, where's the block here? Comes up. Now right here, look at where this hand lies in here. And again, these are things that we can talk about, like, even though these are two superpowered beings fighting against each other, because they're relatively evenly matched. Notice Superman is going for the inside arm block here. He's got his hand raised up, so he's got the forearm facing outwards here. And he's catching it higher up in the arm, which is removing a point of leverage, okay? This is a big old haymaker that Darkseid's throwing here. And Superman, rather than trying to meet the force out here where it's strongest, he's gone inside to stop it. And then countered, boom, with an inside hook of his own. Great move. If you have somebody coming from a high outside, you come up here and you knock that arm away and boom, come on the inside of that. Good shot, and that's also a very good target location for that. I don't know how that would make Darkseid go up off the ground. That would be more of a lowering strike, but whatever. Cinematic experience.
But you can take it, can't you, big man?
I love
What
Superman's
we have
theme and coming in
is
here.
a rare opportunity for me to cut loose and show you just how powerful I really am.
And now look at the lead in here. Boom, look at that full body rotation right there. So if you want to throw the most powerful punch you possibly can, the most important things to do are lunge forward with one foot, turn your hips into it, and lead with your shoulders. Now, it's not going to be the fastest punch. It's going to be an easily telegraphed punch. But coming from a round angle with your arm bent so you take advantage of your pectoral muscles pulling inwards, all right, your triceps driving behind, you're going to have your core rotation coming in, and from a lunging position, we'll ignore the fact that he's flying right now, from a lunging position right here, you're driving your hips through, and you're using literally your entire body to drive that punch right there. We're just going to pretend he's standing on the ground for this purpose. And if you do that properly, your opponent's going to go flying while you create a shockwave that shatters half the city around you. And then we go to Superman getting wrecked. Oh no! You're a punk, Superman. I'm sorry. No, actually, that's a really effective technique to use against Superman, just because the fact that, like, okay, he's relatively invulnerable, but this has nothing to do with inflicting damage. It's just electrically stimulating his pain receptors. Like, that's pretty freaking brutal, man. So, yeah, this was just kind of a silly, fun little fight night. This is one of my favorite clips from Justice League, and actually, was talking to Ike on the Facebook page, made me think of it. Mr. Denbo, he was talking about, it was a Skyrim actually, and I was like, well, you know, Superman's got to be pretty careful in the world around him. It was on a meme. We were talking about a meme. So, yeah, that was what made me think with the whole world made of paper, you know, got to be careful, don't break things. And he was talking about how if you yell at a chicken in Skyrim, everybody assaults you. I was like, yeah, that's kind of similar. So, yeah, not the most serious of fight nights, but sometimes they can be a little silly, right? That's okay. We can do silly fight nights sometimes. Anyway, if you liked the Justice League show, let me know what you thought of, like, your favorite character portrayals on that show. Like I said, I think I would say Lex Luthor and Batman are probably the most accurate portrayals, in my opinion, of the comic to animated screen. Superman, like I said, I feel like they just significantly depowered him. Like, granted, this is a fight against Darkseid, so whatever. That's got to be tough for him no matter what. But, I mean, I think, and this is, you know, we're going to go controversial here. I think that's where a lot of the issue of Goku versus Superman debates come in, because Superman would wreck Goku. Like 100%. It's not even close. I don't even care. Ultra Instinct Goku. Still, nothing on Superman. Because, at least comic book Superman, because comic book Superman is so stupidly overpowered. Like, anyway, they significantly depowered Superman for the sake of his animated show and also the Justice League animated show that followed afterwards. But one of my main gripes, actually, one of my only gripes from the Bruce Timmiverse, as they call it. But yeah, so let me know what you thought about this, about Justice League, about Superman, about Batman, who your favorite DC character is, and why they can't just make a damn good live-action DC movie. I actually just saw Justice League, the animated Justice League. Like, we rented it just this past weekend. And I was prepared for it to suck, so I think I was pleasantly surprised when it was just mediocre and not awful. As sad as that is. Like, it was not a good movie, but it wasn't a bad movie like Suicide Squad was a bad movie, you know? It wasn't a bad movie like Man of Steel, or even like Batman vs. Superman was a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie, but it wasn't an awful movie. It didn't get close to Wonder Woman for me, but, you know, whatever. There we go. They have one live-action movie that's decent, and it's Wonder Woman. Oh, well. So, yeah, thanks for watching. As always, remember to live boldly, change the world, and continue to be awesome. Bye-bye.